To my channel. My name is Ria, and today we're going to cover the new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Aries. New moons are beginning points. They bring in new energy that we work on, and eclipses are karmic. They're destined. So this is a destined new beginning coming up for all of us right now. That being said, one thing I'd like to mention about eclipses is that eclipses are very emotionally charged points. They're karmically charged points. So during an eclipse, around the eclipse, it's best not to be too impulsive, not to be too emotional, not to be too reactive. If there's something that's coming up, it's best to take it slow, absorb that energy, imbibe that energy, think things through, and then respond, then react, right? And this is especially true in the sign of Aries, where we have this eclipse. So it's at 19 degrees, right? The sun and the moon are at 19 degrees, and it's an eclipse in the sign of Aries. Aries is the first sign. It's the beginning of the zodiac. It's initiations. It's taking action. It's making things happen. So in that sense, this new moon solar eclipse in Aries is an extremely potent new beginning, signifying a lot of newness, right? Aries is the first sign. This is a new moon eclipse, a lot of new energy. Now, for the past 2 weeks, we have already been in eclipse energy. 2 weeks ago, we had the lunar eclipse, and now we have the solar eclipse. So for the past 2 weeks, we've been in this karmic energy, in this eclipse energy. And now with this one's about starting something new that's karmic, that's destined for us, that's meant to be for us. So that's that. And with Aries, action is supported, right? Taking steps is supported. What we need to watch out for with Aries is aggression. Aries is a very aggressive energy. It's very impulsive. It can be very reactive. So that's what we need to watch out for. Also, what we need to watch out for when we are starting something new is that we've thought things out, right? We've thought the entire thing out. It should not be an impulse. It should be slow and planned and structured, because Aries is the opposite, right? Aries will just go for it. And that's a good thing, but sometimes that backfires, because what happens with Aries energy is it just goes for it, and then it's like, okay, I should have thought of the consequences. Maybe this is not going too well. So what we need to do is think of the consequences. What we need to do is not be impulsive. Take action, but slow it down. Realize that Aries energy will want to make you be impulsive, will want to make you be reactive, will want to make you just do it like this. But that's what we must avoid. Great time to take action in that sense, start new things, but make sure you're thinking it through, you're thinking it properly, and thinking about it properly and for the long run. But in a nutshell, so far, potent energy for karmic new beginnings. That's what this is about. Now, let's talk about some of the aspects and some of the other things that are going on. Now, this moon in Aries is conjunct Chiron, right? This eclipse is conjunct Chiron, exact, right? 19 degrees. And Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron is about healing yourself. It's about self-healing. But Chiron energy does not really feel the best, right? While in the end, it does bring us this healing, the process with Chiron can be quite challenging. Chiron asks us to see and face our own pain and deal with it on our own. And that's not always an easy thing, right? Think about any wound. Say it's an injury that you've got. When the healing process is on, sometimes it's extremely painful. But once it's healed, it's okay. So Chiron is like that. That healing process can feel challenging. It might not feel good. It might make us feel like, why did this happen to me? Why do I have to go through these things? Right? So that's what we need to not fall into, that thought of, why does this happen to me? I'm not good enough. That's what we need to avoid. We need to embrace whatever it is and say, okay, in some ways I have to face this wound, face this pain, face this thing, whatever it is, and heal from that. And the healing will have to come from within. It will have to come through realizations and from within. So this eclipse is conjunct Chiron. And while it is about initiation, while it is about taking action, while this eclipse is about karmic new beginnings, with Chiron there, it may not feel the best, right? It may not feel the best because that's Chiron. Chiron does not feel good, especially in the beginning, especially when you're starting something. With Chiron, the positive feeling comes after you've done the work, right? After you have healed yourself, after you've faced those difficult things, those tough things. So that is an extremely important thing to consider with this eclipse, that Chiron is there. It may not feel the best. The beginning may not feel the best, but we have to go through it. And in the end, there might be some healing in it for us. Now, the next thing I want to point out with this eclipse is that this is about Rahu, right? The North Node. This is a North Node solar eclipse. Rahu, the North Node in astrology, is the future. Ketu, the South Node, is the past. And this eclipse is with Rahu, not Ketu. And what that means is that it's more about the future. It's more about stepping into the future. It's about embracing the future. Rahu in Vedic astrology is also different. It's the different one, right? It's the one that does not belong, a lot like Uranus, right? It's different. It's unique. So there is that energy as well with this one, that we may feel like we don't belong in some way, but the goal here is to embrace our uniqueness, right? And that's how we can move into the future. And Aries, what is Aries? Apart from beginnings and initiations, Aries is also I am, right? It's about your identity. So this is about embracing that unique identity for the future. But right now, it may not feel the best, and what we need to do is not be impulsive. So that's so far. The next thing I want to speak about is the fact that while we have this abundance of Aries, initiations, beginnings, go-getting energy, we have this Mars and Saturn getting ready to conjunct in the sign of Pisces, right? Pisces by itself is a very flowy, go with the flow sort of energy, while Aries says, I take a stand, I'll do this, and it goes for it. Pisces is more like, I'll see where the universe takes me. Let's just go with the flow. Let's see what happens. And Mars, the ruler of Aries, where we have this eclipse, is in Pisces, and it is about to meet up with Saturn, right? And Saturn is slow. Saturn is about the long run. Saturn does things for good, right? It thinks things through. It's the opposite of Aries in a way. Aries will just go for it. Saturn will make a plan. It's slow. It will say, let's do this for the long run. What are the consequences? What do I need to get this done? That's Saturn. So it's slow. It's you can say the opposing energy of that fast go-getting Aries. And the ruler of Aries is about to meet up with Saturn. And what this can mean is, while there's this abundance of energy saying, let's go, let's begin, let's start, Saturn is there acting as a checkpoint saying, slow down, right? Slow down. Think of the consequences. Think of the future. Think of all that you need. Think whether this is actually the thing you want to start, whether this is actually the thing you want to begin. Think. That is what Saturn is saying. Saturn is saying, slow down, not so fast. Because Mars is there. Mars wants to just take action. So what this can manifest or feel like is, yeah, there's something new. Yeah, you may want to do something new, and it may be a very impulsive energy that starts coming through, right? I want to do this now. But Saturn is saying not so fast. It's saying slow down. So this can manifest as us feeling a little stuck, right? It can make us feel like there's this thing that I want to go, but there's something holding me back, right? What is that stop? What is that energy? That's Saturn. But that's the negative manifestation, right? It's us, not even negative. That's one manifestation where we feel stuck. The other manifestation is where we realize that, yeah, there's a lot going on about taking action, but there is an energy asking us to slow down. So let's slow it down. Let's give it time. Let's think this through. That's Mars and Saturn in Pisces. And with Pisces, we still have a fair bit of Pisces, right? We have Mars and Saturn there. We have Neptune there. We have a lot of Aries now. Pisces, as I mentioned in the previous videos, endings. Aries, beginning. So a lot about that as well. Endings and beginnings, going with the flow and taking action, surrendering to the universe and making things happen. They're very different energies, right? Because Aries says, I'm going to just do it. Pisces says, let's surrender, let's see what happens. So we have to balance these two out pretty well. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that a few days after the eclipse, we'll have Jupiter and Uranus meet up. They are going to meet up, and Jupiter is a magnifier, right? It magnifies things, it expands things, and Uranus is change. It's authentic, it's unique, it's different. And what this can mean is a big change is coming up, right? A big change that's asking us to be unique as well, but a big change, and it's in the sign of Taurus, right? Both of them are in Taurus. Taurus is about our value. It's a financial sign. It's about food resources. So these are the big themes that can come up. Themes associated with finances, with our values, with food resources. Resources in general can be a theme. And I have already mentioned finances and currencies. So that's with this conjunction building up. So in a nutshell so far, this is a karmic new beginning point, which may not feel the best with Chiron there. While there's a lot of energy to take action and get things done, there is Saturn there saying slow down, think it over, plan better. And we also have Jupiter and Uranus getting ready to meet up, more and more changes coming up. So that's what's happening in a nutshell, right? And let me just see what else is going on. Yeah, we have another thing that I want to mention. Mercury is retrograde, 24 degrees of Aries, right? And when Mercury is retrograde, it's not the best time to start brand new things related to Mercury. Mercury is learning, Mercury is writing, Mercury is marketing, right? Mercury is all these things. Mercury is about signing contracts. So not the best time to be doing these for the first time, but if they were in motion before Mercury retrograde, it's a time to review those things. It's a time to reflect on those. It's a time to figure out how can you make these things better. So that's with Mercury retrograde. Gadgets can malfunction. There can be a delay in communication. So keep that in mind. And over the next few days, Mercury will go over this eclipse spot. It's moving backwards from the Earth's perspective. It will go over that eclipse spot. So keep in mind that again, this eclipse energy will come up with Mercury going over that spot and bringing it up for us to review. So that's the energy in a nutshell. And apart from Mercury, we still have all the planets direct, right? So Mercury here can bring that slight slowdown. It can ask us to exercise caution in Mercury related things if we are doing those things for the first time. But the energy is still fast moving, forward moving with all the planets direct. And what that means is basically things are moving at a fast pace, and that continues. Maybe a slight slowdown from before, but it's still fast. And that's the moon in a nutshell. Another thing I'd like to mention is that if you guys know your charts, look for 19 degrees of Aries. That's where this eclipse energy will be coming in for you, that particular house. If you know your charts, look for Pisces and Aries and even Taurus. That's where the energy is concentrated, and what that means is that part of your life can be coming up pretty strongly. Look at your rising signs, look at your sun signs. That'll give you a good idea of where this energy is coming in for you. And I think that sums it up. But before I go, I just want to say that since the beginning of the year, we've had a lot of karmic energy, right? We've had a lot of changes. Pluto is in Aquarius. It will go back into Capricorn for a brief period of time, September to November, but it's in Aquarius now. And that's a whole new cycle. That's a whole new energy for the next almost 2 decades, right? Almost 2 decades. Ending a 16-year energy, 2008 to 2023 to 2024, right? With Pluto in Capricorn during those years, and now in Aquarius. So a lot of new with Aquarius. Aquarius is about technology. It's about the future. It's a Uranus ruled sign. It's about being unique. It's about being different. It's about all these things. And with Aquarius, what we need to watch out for with Pluto and Aquarius is detachment, is a lack of connection, is all these sort of things, right? Because Aquarius can be very detached. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is an important eclipse point. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.